Hello. Today I am reading from Runaway, Ralph, Chapter 6, Part 2. Last time we read three details that happened was Catsko came into the craft shop. 1. Karen had poison ivy or poison oak and left her watch in the craft shop. And 3, Catsko stole it, the watch. Okay, so here we go. Before long, Karen, her left arm covered with white lotion, came running into the craft shop with 2 friends. "My watch!" she cried, sending Ralph scuttling into a corner. "It's gone!" "Somebody must have taken it," said one of her friends, an older girl who was wearing polished English riding boots. "I'll bet it was that Garf," said the second friend. "I'll bet it was too," said the girl in the English riding boots. "I saw him leave the dining hall early." She brushed dust from the toe of her boot. Girls who owned English riding boots were proud of them and shined them often. Karen tried to be fair. "We don't know if it was Garf, and we didn't see him come in here." The girls crowded out through the screen door to meet Aunt Jill, who had paused on her way to the shop to talk to someone. "Aunt Jill! Aunt Jill!" they cried. Okay. "Karen's watch is gone!" "Aunt Jill, we have a mystery," cried Lana, who had tagged after the older girls in her dirty cowboy boots. She liked the dirt on her boots, which showed she was not a newcomer to the camp. Everyone wanted to hear about the missing watch. Campers crowded around Aunt Jill and the 3 girls. Through the open window, Ralph could hear snatches of the conversation. "Aunt Jill, I'm sure I left it on the shelf beside the mouse cage. I'm positive. Looked every place, and I saw Garf. And it was my birthday present. Search the lodges." "He sneaks out of the dining hall. Hasn't even been excused from the table." "Now, girls," this was Aunt Jill. "Well, I don't care. He acts funny." The cat really has fixed things now, thought Ralph, as the campers gathered on the benches at the old school desk under the walnut trees. One of the counselors led the singing, and then Aunt Jill stepped up on the platform. "Campers, I have some unhappy news today," she began. "Karen's watch is missing from the craft shop, where she is sure she had laid it on a shelf. It was not an expensive watch, but it was a birthday present to Karen, and she would like very much to have it back." Here, Karen nodded her head vigorously. And Aunt Jill went on, "We are not going to search the lodges, as someone suggested. We are going to let the person who took the watch return it, because it is the right thing to do." A lot Catsko's cares about doing the right thing, thought Ralph. He heard Garf, who was sitting on the last bench, say angrily to the boy in front of him, "What are you looking at me for?" Aunt Jill continued, "No one needs to know who took the watch. It can be returned to the shelf in the craft shop when no one is looking, or to my desk in the office. We are not interested in who took the watch. We want it returned to Karen, because returning it is the right thing to do." After Aunt Jill's speech, the campers began to sing, "You Are My Sunshine." Garf slipped away from the rest of the campers and, as Aunt Jill had suggested, sat down by himself behind the clump of bamboo. This afternoon was the first time Ralph had seen him sit there. "You make me happy," sang the campers. They haven't made Garf happy, thought Ralph, wishing that Garf were sitting on the other side of the bamboo near the craft shop door where he might find the watch by accident. "That boy is really in trouble," remarked Chum. Ralph turned in surprise. "I thought you were asleep under your cedar shavings," he remarked. "That's what I make them think," said Chum. "I didn't miss a thing." "What is your opinion of the case?" asked Ralph, who knew the right words to use in such a situation from watching so many television programs in the lobby of Mountain View Inn. "I think that the boy is in a tight spot," said Chum. "Everybody knows he used to come into the craft shop when no one was here, and they know he is still the first person to leave the dining hall, so naturally everyone thinks he took the watch. He obviously can't return the watch because he doesn't know where it is. So, of course, everyone will think he is keeping it." "That's the way I had figured it," agreed Ralph. "And I can tell you one thing," continued Chum. "He's not going to come near the craft shop until that watch is found." "But what about me?" squeaked Ralph in dismay, thinking of the sign above his cage. "Nobody else feeds me. I'll starve." "I'll try to toss you an alfalfa pellet once in a while," said Chum generously. "My aim isn't very good, but I should be able to get one into your cage now and then, enough to keep you going." "Going where?" wondered Ralph. "No place." What was to become of him when the summer ended and all the campers went home? Would Garf take him away, or would everyone forget him and leave him to starve? He did not want to spend the rest of his life in a cage, and he certainly didn't want to be kept alive on a few cast-off alfalfa pellets, only to starve at the end of summer. There was just one answer. Ralph had to escape. The campers finished a rousing chorus of "You Are My Sunshine" when Ralph's sharp ears caught a sound that had him on his feet in an instant. It was the sound of a boy using to make a toy motorcycle go. It was made softly as if by a boy alone in his thoughts. Garf had found Ralph's motorcycle. "Hey," squeaked Ralph at the top of his small voice. "That's my motorcycle! That's my motorcycle!" Garf stopped pushing the motorcycle across the bamboo leaves just long enough to make Ralph think he might have heard him. Then, to Ralph's disappointment, he put the motorcycle in the pocket of his jeans and went off towards his lodge for the rest period required of all the campers. Ralph was so excited, he left the bars of his cage and went for a run on his wheel. Garf spoke his language. He knew how to make the motorcycle go. There was hope after all. All Ralph had to do was explain to Garf. As Ralph thought the matter over, his exercise wheel moved more and more slowly until it came to a stop, and Ralph sat back down on his haunches. His plan would not work until Garf was cleared of the theft of the watch. He was not going to risk coming into the craft shop. Ralph had to agree that Chum was right. So Ralph is really worried that Garf won't come back into the craft shop because he thinks everyone will think that he's returning the watch because everyone thinks he stole it. But Garf really didn't steal it. The cat did. So our next chapter, chapter 7, is called The Escape. Let me know what your prediction is and what you think is going to happen in chapter 7. And thank you for listening. Goodbye.